Uh, Hello again, Savius, back again with another analysis video of a boss kill. This time it's Mythic Kargath, our first kill of Mythic Kargath in Highmaul. And just again, I'm just going to go over some of the things we did right and maybe some things that we can improve upon, because there's always ways to improve. For the most part, for our first kill, it was honestly pretty clean. There were a couple hairy moments. Personally, I could have performed a little bit better with a couple of things, and you'll see. But let's get right into it, man. So you see, I try to get my mastery buff up. First and foremost, you definitely want to take good advantage of that as a resto druid. To have it up early in the fight, because it affects wild mushrooms healing and all of your hots as well, to have that out. Even trank as well, so even though I don't use trank at all this fight. But that's just Kargath, man. Even on Mythic, there's not a whole hell of a lot of damage. The main difference between this encounter on Heroic and Mythic is the Roar of the Crowd buff, which you can see in the middle here. It's a secondary resource that increases the raid's damage done. No real benefit to healers at all, just making the fight shorter, I guess. But the healers really don't need the benefit, because honestly, there's no helping you if your raid doesn't handle the mechanics right. You can also see another new mechanic. When the fire pillars come up, every 5 seconds they spit these little flame gout things, and they do a respectable amount of damage. So if you fuck that mechanic up, honestly, you're gonna run out of ways to recover. The other way is the new way that you handle Berserker Rush. You don't kite it into the fire. You actually want to try to kite him for as long as possible, or just sit there and tank him with immunity effects. And right here we're using a hunter with 2 deterrences, and he had a hand of protection. You can see that's on cooldown also, and that allows him to sit there and just tank the whole duration of the Berserker Rush. And you can see out of that we got what's that, 35% or some shit onto the Roar of the Crowd buff. So immediately we have a buff, and you can see it, what is it, like the little blue sad face or something. It's not great, that's what it is, but it's better than not having anything. I think maybe that's a 25% increase. I'm not exactly sure the numbers. You'd have to check Icy Veins or somebody who did some more a detailed guide about the fight specifically to go know the exact numbers about that buff. But again, you see we have our second one. The same deal there, just hand of protection on the mage, I think, that got targeted by it. Right here, when Famous died, there was a weird little interaction with Rebirth and the fire pillar that came up, but it is what it is. We got him back up. As you can see, though, damage is really stable. The Stands group is group 2. They're up top dealing with ads. The Bombers up there, they clear them down. You see them jump back down. The ads up top also, they do this thing called Heckle. Heckle is how you lose your Roar of the Crowd buff. It doesn't deteriorate over time. It's just as long as those ads are up there heckling the raid, you'll lose the buff a little bit. So here we have another one, and I think I'm not sure who's it on. Arrow. So you see Ice Block, and another hand of protection was used to just sit there and channel it. Now we have the full buff. Big happy smiley face up there. So now the raid's gonna start tearing his ass up. We time warped early. I think realistically it's probably better to save time warp until you have this 100% buff. But I guess maybe not, because it doesn't last that long. But even though it's not 100%, when you're at 90 or so, you're still doing significantly more damage. That's why you can see that motherfucking happy face. It's probably just over 85% that has the same buff, even if you're not at 100. I'm not sure how low it is, but the buff is still there. Next time I maybe try to look at it and see what the exact numbers are. But another Berserk Rush. Now this one we fucked up. He got a hand of protection, and he ice blocked way too early. He was already bubbled, and that's why he dies here, because he didn't ice block on the last little second of the bubble. And yeah, I mean, he just he lost his life because of that, because he fucked that up. But it's okay. That doesn't cause a wipe. It's still pretty clean. Damage is pretty manageable. You see group 2, the stands group. I think a bomb blew up top. The bombs up top from the ads are actually really, really deadly. Again, damage is not high to unavoidable shit. But anything in this counter that's avoidable and you fail to avoid it, man, is it deadly. I didn't cover the cats. We've killed like 3 of them. We handled the cats really well. We just put the ranged on them. The cats, they fixate people when they get out the cage. If they reach their target, the target is immediately killed. And anybody that's within 4 yards is also killed. So, I mean, that's just that. Really, really clean kill. Really good execution here. You see I throw out my trank at the very end just to try to get some use out of it. And it's still channeling, I guess, even through the cinematic. But, yeah, I mean, we're just going to pause it there. And for the most part, it was a really clean kill. There was a screw up on the part of one of our mages who ice blocked a little too soon. But truth be told, looking at the only way to lose Roar the Crowd is by having Kargath kill someone with Berserker Rush, or having the ads up top heckle for too long. You really are not required to keep handling that mechanic like that for the rest of the fight. After 1 or 2 Berserker Rush where you handle it well with your immunities, you can kind of just start running them in the pillars and you'll be okay. You know what I mean? So, all in all, I feel like Kargath maybe could be a more difficult encounter, but honestly, maybe he's in a good place because he does really, really require good execution of his mechanics in order to kill him. He's not a brute force boss on Mythic where it's like his damage that you can't avoid is going to overwhelm you. But if you fail to avoid the damage, if you run into fire pillars, if you get hit by those fireballs too much, if you get hit by the poison bombs, if you don't kite the cats and deal with them appropriately. I also forgot to mention, when you kite the cats into the fire pillars, which is why you don't run Kargath into the pillars, the cats actually give you a 10% buff to Roar the Crowd, and it also keeps them sort of CC'd for 8 seconds, forces them to switch targets, gives you a way to deal with them, gives you time to DPS them down, and it minimizes their effect on killing the raid. So that's Kargath, man. You have to execute properly. If you fail to do so, you will not likely kill this encounter. Our first attempt on him, pretty easy work, I think. We worked on that for a little bit though, so it was probably about 20 attempts realistically, 20 wipes on this boss before we actually got him down. But as far as I'm concerned, no previous PTR experience or anything like that, so not too bad. But yeah, man, that's it. That's Mythic Kargath. That's my analysis of the fight. I just want to thank you for watching this video. As always, if you like it, please hit the subscribe button. Check out my stream over at twitch.tv/Savius Gaming, and enjoy your raiding, man. Good luck and have fun.